Hello and welcome to Brooksvale Park and Troop 608 doing a little bit of map and compass before an afternoon chili cook-off. One of our Eagle Scouts recently did a bunch of work at this park, and that included putting together an orienteering course with a map. So off we go. We can give it a little test run, as it were, I guess you could say. Now we have a bit of a challenge because it's based, as I understand it, on a U.S. Geological Survey map, and they're not that good. Nothing against the U.S. Geological Survey, but simply the funding to produce the kind of maps that you see in Europe, or for that matter, the kind of maps you would see on a regular orienteering course map, it's just not there. So the scouts are around the lead, as they ought to be, and there's a bit of sort of fumbling and working this all out, but they're pulling it all together.
We're going on the red way.
Working out sort of clues on the ground. And here come the adults catching up.
So, I think that building up there, there's a lean-to on the left.
Okay, now when you find that first control where it's an orienteering course or map and compass course like this one, or a permanent orienteering course, it's really handy. One, there's the confidence builder, like, oh, I found something good. But two, it helps, I think, the mind really connect the scale of the map to the scale of the ground, as it were. And you also learn some kind of clues, like the markers are going to be low to the ground, and they're going to be on trees with a bit of pink plastic tape on them. That's handy. So off we go. Let's find another control now that our confidence is kicking up. And here it is, again to the right-hand side of the trail, as it were. A bit into the woods. Find a large tree with pink tape. And on the far side, there'll be a marker. Good. Off we go. I'm coming up to a control that is by a trail junction. And now we're trying to interpret where these stone walls, made of New England potatoes, figure out onto the map. And the second stone wall is proving to be a helpful aid in navigation, as it were, with our next control that we found. Okay, now we have a bit of a challenge because some of the scouts need to get back to help set up for the chili cook-off. And as scouting in the early 21st century is so different from the 70s and the 80s, it's very equipment intensive, I must say. So we're trying to head back, but here's where we're going to make a mistake, I think. When we came to this apparent fire break, which is actually cleared for high tension wires, I think we really ought to have turned left and followed it up and then re-caught the trail loop. But instead, we decided to press on with what we felt was a more reliable approach, if you take my meaning. And coming to this other entrance gate, where another scout from the troop had done his Eagle project, we pick up another control. So there's some joy in our little mistake, as it were. Okay, now we're really heading back. But we're heading back from the far side of the park.
Exactly.
And if you look at the map, the dark green represents the original park, and this very light green represents the addition to it. And then each of these asterisks is one of the controls. Okay, on we go. And coming back again to the high tension wires. There are markers on this as well, as we're about to see, a blaze on the ground. The colors on the map, the trail colors, may not always match the blazes as well. Apparently there's been some changes. So there's some real challenges in the navigation here. But there are the two blazes where the trails amalgamate. And here we are now cutting off what I believe to be the orange trail and sticking to the green trail, which is the big loop. And we're nearly there, and some other people visiting the park asked, are there maps here? I'm like, yes, here, I have mine. Well, unfortunately, my family wasn't able to stay for Chili Cookoff, but I understand it was a grand day out. I hope you enjoyed this video, just as we had a very nice time too. Take care.